I am not going to lie to you. You do need to watch the first one in order to really enjoy the second one. Otherwise, you're gonna honestly be lost as all heck. Of course, talking about The Accountant 2. This was directed by Gavin O'Connor, who he also directed the first one, as well as the movie Warrior, which I highly recommend. It has been a while since I've watched it, but last time I do remember enjoying it. This is starring Ben Affleck, Jon Bernthal, and Cynthia Addai-Robinson. All three of them gave a fantastic performance in this movie. Especially for Cynthia. I really enjoyed her in this movie. She was sort of kind of memorable from the first one, but in this one she had a little bit of a bigger role, so I really do appreciate that. The story follows Christian Wolff, who applies his brilliance to solve the puzzle of a treasury chief's murder. Basically, Ray King, played by J.K. Simmons from the first one, he was murdered at the very beginning of this movie, and we're trying to figure out why. There is also another subplot going on in this movie that follows the story of Aria or Anais. I think it's Anais from what I remember. And this is played by Daniela Pineda. Start with some of the positives, guys, from this movie. Ben and John have great chemistry in this movie. It is great. The jokes between them, the banter, the constant just like bickering of sibling rivalry is hilarious. The chemistry between the two in this movie was the best part of this movie. Not gonna lie though, John's character doesn't really show up until like the second half of this movie. More like an act 2. However, when he is there, he is amazing. To be frank, he almost steals the show from Ben Affleck. Sorry. I think that this movie, at least that I enjoy, is that this movie is not an action-driven movie. This is more of a solving a case, putting the clues together, following this clue to this place, and yada yada yada. All while growing the depth and basically just getting to know your characters a little bit more and seeing the difference between all three of them, because all three of them are completely different, and it is hilarious watching all three of them trying to work together. And one of them is trying to stick with the law, the others don't really care. That was when this movie shines, because it is so funny seeing Cynthia's character just getting frustrated with how much illegal stuff they're doing, but they have a case to solve, but at the same time she's faced with the fact that this isn't right, and she's also the law in this movie, so what is she supposed to do? Overall, the character development in this movie is fantastic when you're following the story. The story itself, it does have a couple of subplots going on. I would say like 1 or 2 subplots going on in the main story that you do have to pay attention, otherwise you will get lost in this film. I'm not going to lie when I say that all 3 of those subplots are interesting. At least I found them interesting enough for me to stick around and continue to watch the movie. Not gonna lie, it did take me a minute to realize who the villain is, and even then the villain wasn't really painted clearly as to who it was going to be. I love J.K. Simmons, I really do, but I'm sorry, your character doing martial arts out of nowhere? Come on. Sorry, man. It's just every time I see something like that, I just, I just see one swing and they just go like, oh, my hip. That a lot of people may or may not like in this film is the whole pseudoscience, bionicle Terminator woman that they have going on. It doesn't reveal much, but there is something like that going on in this film. And it's a little too much. It's a little too much, but I flow with it. But I flow with anything. But a lot of people may not like that. They may feel like it's a little too distracting or a little bit more too on the fictional side, even though a lot of this movie is on the fictional side, to be frank. In my opinion and in my thought, I think that this movie is a great sequel to the first movie. It is enjoyable, it is hilarious, I love the character, I love their development. The ending was great for every single character involved, like, well, depending on how you look at it, but investigation was interesting. And overall, yeah, I mean, I was very happy to have gone to the theater to see this movie, and I do highly, highly recommend this movie. I am going to be giving it a 7 out of 10 though, sorry to say. I did give the First Accountant an 8. Sorry, did I give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10? I think it was a 9 out of 10 that I gave the First Accountant. This one got a 7 out of 10. It is closer to an 8 than a 6, but I think that's just me being biased. However, I do recommend you guys check this out in the theater. You do need to see the first one in order to understand what is going on. If you don't, you're gonna be a little bit lost. This movie doesn't do any hand-holding at all. I do think the movie is on HBO Max, so if you can check it out, please do. Highly recommend. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Leave them down in the comment section below. I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye!